Hi everyone and welcome to week 3 phonics lessons 2. So let's get started. So let's read some phase 3 sounds. Follow my mouse, say them loud and proud. That's right, qua. Well done, make sure we're seeing that tongue when you say that. Well done. And finally this one. Now that one's as in book. So make sure it's and not oo. This one would be oo as in boots. Okay, well done. Let's do some phase 5 sounds. Let's try this one. That's right. What about this one? Good. Or what about this one? Also or. So there's 2 different ways of spelling the or sound. This one's going to help us today. What's this one? That's right. W. Super. Let's read some phase 2 words. No. Go. Well done. Those 2 rhyme as well. What about this one? Was. Super. This one? Ah, well done. About phase 4. Good, that's little. And this one's going to come in handy today. Well done. When. And finally, people. Good. And well done. Asked. So let's read these and see if we can recognize the sounds in them. We'll put our sound buttons on as well. Let's read this word. That's right. Wine. So we've got w. Ein. Split diagraph I. What about this one? Well done, tube. Split diagraph U this time. We'll put the sound buttons on to make it easy to sound out. Compete, well done. So that's like when you take part in a competition or a sport and you go against other people. This word. Those, well done. And finally this word. Glaze. So we had a split diagraph I, split diagraph U, split diagraph E, split diagraph O, and a split diagraph A. So all long vowel sounds. So our sound of the day is, say it out loud, W. Well done. Now there are 2 ways of saying this diagraph. Can you remember what they are? Look at these words to give you a clue. I've put the sound buttons on to help you. Very good. We've got W, N, when. Then we've got who. So we've got W and a H sound. So they can, so this sound, how we've spelled it, WH, it can make a W and a H sound, but mostly it is the W sound. So let's read some real and alien words. Let's put the sound buttons on as we sound it out to help us. We've got when. Good. This word. White. Well done. This one. Very tricky, that one. That's whom. So that's where it's got the H sound instead of the W sound. What about this one? Who. Well done. Another time, our WH makes a H sound. Let's try this alien word. Good. Welt. And this word, our real word. Whistle. Well done. This word. That's right. Witch. Not the one that casts magical spells, but the other witch, as in if we could put it in a sentence, we could say, which colour is your favourite? Let's read this alien word. well done, wug. This one, Y, well done. Remember that Y is making an I sound when it's on the end. Now this word is a compound word, where two words that make sense by themselves come together to make another word. So let's do our sound buttons to help us sound out. Wheelchair, well done. This one. Whisk, well done. Now, in the classroom, we had to look up a picture of a whisk, so maybe you could do that at home if you don't know what one looks like, but we usually use it in cooking, especially baking. And our final word, ooh, wheelbarrow, well done. So, I would like you to please have a go at writing the word when. So pause the video and have a go at writing that one. After that, I would like you to write the word which. After that one, oh, I'm going to be really mean and ask you to write who. And finally, I'm going to ask you to write a compound word, wheelchair. So pause the video, make sure you've written this all down, read them back to check that they make sense to you and that you've used the correct sound at the start. So we had when. Now I am writing this on the computer with the mouse, so I'm sorry if it's not as neat as my handwriting at school. So we have when. Did you get it right? Our next one was which. There we go. Did you get it right? Then we were changing it and making it a little bit trickier. We decided to do who. So when the WH can make a H sound instead of a W sound. So we still use WH. And it's tricky because we put an O on the end. Who. And then finally, I asked you to write the compound word wheelchair. So I hope you got those right. So now I would like you to try your activity. So it's colouring real words in a one colour and nonsense words in another colour. Now be careful, there are some trick ones, okay? So pause the video and then we'll go over the answers. So let's see how we did. So, whip, that is a real word. Sometimes a jockey might use one of those on a horse in horse racing. So, whisper, a real word, well done. Whack, nonsense word. Weeb, that's right, nonsense word as well. Wisma, that's right, a nonsense word. Wheel, definitely a real word. Which, well, we've written that one and we read it in our lesson, so it's got to be real. Whelb, definitely a nonsense word. When, also a nonsense word. It sounds like when, but obviously it's spelled differently, so definitely a nonsense word. Once, Very hard to say, so well done if you got that one, but definitely a nonsense word. Now we've written this one in our lesson and read it. When, so definitely a real word. Where, definitely a real word. Now this one is a tricky one because wink is a real word. There we go, winking with one eye. However, we don't spell it with an H. It is just W-I-N-K. So that one is a nonsense word. So sorry if you got tricked by that one. This one, why, definitely, is a real word. Whiskers. Now, we've all been learning about tigers in English, and they do have whiskers, so I hope everyone got that one as a real word. Wib, definitely a nonsense word. Whistle, well, we looked at that one, didn't we? So that's definitely a real word. Weave, nonsense word. Wilm, nonsense word. Now, wine is a real word. Now, it's spelled differently to wine that we read earlier in the lesson. That's because it's a homophone. So wine could be like the drink that adults drink. And then this whine is when a baby might whine or a dog might whine when they're upset. They make a sound, okay? So let's go on to the last part of our lesson. So I would like you to choose one of your real words from your sheet, and I would like you to write it in a sentence. So remember, our W sound or our H sound, if you've chosen one, is spelt like that. WH every time, okay? So choose a real word and write it in a sentence. You could make it as silly as you like, as long as it still makes sense. And don't forget Nita's handwriting, a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence and a full stop at the end. We don't want those letters to fly away, okay? So write your sentence. Thank you everybody for joining me today for phonics, and I will see you soon.